So happen.
Mind boys, watch out, boom. Right now we under we rum and we sense it. English Harbour, you know we drink plenty. Hustle hard, rich and pocket never empty. Give thanks to blessing, it a shower, it a flow.
Sponsored by.
Yo, shop, pick up yourself on this podcast. You know, you don't know what just sticker representing. You're listening to the Rum Table podcast. So open, you know.
Boom. Welcome back to the Rum Table podcast. The one with the most Richie Rich, aka Real Big Man Ting.
And you don't know, it's your boy Shaq _ just Shaq.
Yo, hello, just Shaq. We have a really special guest in the building. Not only somebody we look up to when it comes to these type of conversations. According to the title, you can see we're talking about certain kind of people, white people, white. Black History Month is here, you know. It is here.
Tell me how you really feel, Richard.
Yo, I have so much to say, but guess what? We have to talk about it after the alcohol kick in. But introduce yourself, please, first. I mean, I can say what I know about you. Besides being a good person and everything, you've studied behavioral science. You've also done psychology, is that correct?
Yeah. So I did behavioral sciences at Seneca College, behavioral sciences and psychology, and I'm gonna start social service work in September.
That's hype. That's decent. That's decent.
Yeah.
We need more.
Before we get into the topic of that, you know how it is. It's a Rum Table podcast. We must start with a rum, and it's a very special rum today. It's our homeland rum. Everyone here is from Antigua. That's the next thing. Knicco.
It's her favorite rum.
Knicco, you know what? It's your favorite rum too?
It is. English Harbour is my favorite rum, yeah. Sponsor me.
Yo, shout out to English Harbour. These guys have been very, very good to us from the beginning we started the podcast. So shout out to them. But yeah, we are drinking a 5-year-old English Harbour today.
Yeah.
So we have to start with the rum facts. We got Shaq with the facts as usual.
All right, and if y'all listen to the last episode, y'all already know we have our partnership with Rube Dog from Rube Dog Drinks.
Ruby.
He sponsored today's rum facts, and let's get into it. So,
You crack it open, man.
I am.
so English Harbour rum. All right, so it's made by Antigua Distillery Limited, who are the last remaining distillery on the island, which I didn't know. That's pretty cool. The distillery is family owned, originally started by some local Portuguese rum blenders who wanted a consistent product. So they banded together and started the distillery. Unlike the ex-British colonies that use both an old school pot still and modern column still to create their final product, they only have a column, which creates a lighter, more easygoing rum, less like Guyanese or Jamaican and more like Bajan rum, but even lighter than that.
That's decent. That's really decent.
So column stills are usually made for efficiency. However, this one is made many decades old, meaning it's completely analog, requiring constant attention. So, he also said it's kind of like the old DJ setups, where before a time you would have had you'd have had your mixing set up, and you'd actually spin tables and shit, spin disc.
Yeah, it's like the analog versus the turntable.
And then
style.
now it's like the computer DJ setup where you have it.
Are you taking one?
Shaq don't have a
Yeah,
choice.
set me up.
Okay.
I'll take one.
This was
Yes, it's like that. In addition, it's made from copper, which is better quality than steel, but requires that still be completely taken apart and cleaned every few months. Because this still is so difficult to work with, it has been nicknamed the bitch by its staff.
What?
They have a nickname for it.
Explain.
Talk about that. So
because it's so difficult to deal with, you see me? And then one of the family members actually had told him, and this is like an insider thing.
Yeah.
So one of the family members told him, you gotta touch she just right and make she purr.
Yeah, boy.
yeah, but touch it like a right. Make she.
And she no respond well to any and everybody putting their hands on her. You see me?
I see.
What an Antiguan thing
that's
to
that's
say.
definitely
First
Antiguan.
of all,
I am proud to be Antiguan right now. We're gonna start off with this shot of English Harbour 5-year-old. Thank you guys.
Appreciate the facts, Rube Dog.
And,
cheers, guys, cheers.
And Nico told me I have to like tap it on the ground.
it
After.
down.
I didn't know all that. But
Woo!
all
That
right.
was smooth.
yo, why do I not remember English Harbour tasting this good?
Honestly,
English Harbour is decent. Man.
it's because we're out in the foreign. That's why.
English Harbour
Yeah,
is
It
when
tastes
you-
better
when
when
you're
we're not on
foreign,
that soil.
When you're there
Yeah.
foreign, everything tastes better because you miss it.
Well,
All right. So now that the shot has kicked in and it's burning up my chest.
it is burning chesses. Chesses are being burnt.
Chesses.
Chesses is that a word? Chesses? Chesses? Chester from pants.
And please excuse us for a technical difficulty commercial. We'll be right back
No,
after this sound.
What is the right word? Chest. This chest.
I think it's just chest.
It's just chest.
It's just chest, Rich.
Now that chests are being burned.
Our chests.
Chest.
Chests.
With
Alright,
one of them
Chest
apostrophe.
is being burnt. All right. My bad.
All right.
Hold the ginger
Can I
rum
get
in.
some Coke
So, as
too?
y'all
I
can
know
tell-
y'all Antiguans with your rum and ginger.
As y'all can tell, we've been drinking. We've been pre-drinking.
I don't know what they're
I
talking
don't know
about.
what
I
that is.
surely
have no clue
haven't.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
know
we're
what
just-
they were
we're just
talking
naturally
about?
lit. You see me?
Yo, but this is a serious topic, you know, because Black History Month is something that I saw Kanye West just fucking said the other day. We need to cut Black History Month out. Not the first time I've ever heard it, but the man said we should look forward to Black Future from now on. What is your take? I'd love to hear, Nico, if you could please tell me, what is your thoughts when people talk about Black History Month? You think, you hear the saying when people are like, yo, we shouldn't just have 1 month, which I can understand when some people feel.
Yeah.
What is your take about Black History Month? Should we just get rid of the whole thing altogether? Like, what is your thoughts on it?
No. So here's where I think, and here's where I differ from Kanye West. I think that having Black History Month is a staple. Is something that we get to claim. We get to say that we have. And I think any other feelings towards having a Black History Month should be set aside.
Yeah.
I think Black people being able to own
At least
something,
Just give me at least some.
Yeah.
to have that to speak about, to have that to showcase, what we're worth and how hard we work and the work that we've put in from years ago. I think it's important to showcase that.
Right.
Now I will agree with Kanye West on maybe speaking more on futuristic side of things. So I do really, really advocate for Afro futurism, where we're really
Afrofuturism.
right. Well, where we're really sitting down and we're talking about where do we see ourselves as a Black community, as people? Where do we see ourselves 20, 30 years from now?
Right.
And I
Where
don't
do
want
we-
you to think in terms of where do we see ourselves as a human race. I want you to think in terms of where, as a Black person, Black people, where do you see Black people in 20, 30 years?
Where do you see them, or where do you want to see them?
Where do you see them?
I don't know the statistics, but I don't think we're evolving as much as we could have been. We should have been.
The thing is, a lot of our technological breakthroughs that we've had and a lot of things we've done has been like passed off to somebody else, right? Somebody else is taking credit for it. I think we're out here, we're out and stunting, but it's just that we're not getting the credit for it.
Yeah. Because, me and you focus on a lot of we listen to a lot of finance podcasts, for example, right? And if you pay attention to those podcasts, especially the Black ones, they consistently try to tell you, Black people are actually who the ones that make everything trendy.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
Clothes, anything that people talk about in music, Black people made that trendy. The reason why you're seeing Gucci and Fendi and all that making money.
Because they decided that.
Black people actually decided we're making this cool.
We set the bar,
We set the bar.
We set the bar. We set the trend. We set everything.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we're just not the ones capitalizing
Right from it.
which is such a shame that we don't know about this shit.
I want y'all to expound a little more on what you said. What do you mean by that?
So in my take on it would be, since I brought it up, it's basically that anything that is mainstreamed, Black people were the ones that made it mainstream. We just don't profit from it. Realistically, most Black people aren't in the wealthy side of things. So realistically, not most Black people can afford Gucci or Louis or whatever it is. But realistically, we're the ones who make those things trendy.
Absolutely. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is, do you think that, and I mean big name time brands, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, do you think that they should be held to the standard that they are.
No, absolutely
Hell
not.
nah.
That's the thing,
No?
because we don't make any money from it.
Right.
So I don't.
So
think
are
they
you
should
okay?
have been.
So now the train of thought that I'm trying to like dive into is Black people have made these corporations, made these businesses, these brands,
Easy.
what they are
Absolutely.
to be, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, do you think that's what the brands had in mind first?
Absolutely
Hell
not.
no. Hell no.
Do you think the brands had in mind to?
I don't even
crazy?
think. Listen, I think I had read somewhere that they don't even.
But
they
now
don't
is
even
that a business?
acknowledge? They don't even acknowledge
No,
where the
no,
actual
no.
thing.
But
came
is that a
from.
business strategy?
Of course.
No.
Because is Gucci for rich people? Is Gucci, Louis
Ooh, that's a
Vuitton,
very good
Chanel?
question.
Are
That
they
is a
for
good
rich
question.
people, or are they for the Black people that you've spoken about who
Who are gonna
emphasize
jump
the
on
brands?
Jump on it and.
I
What
wanna-
is it for?
I want to believe it's very debatable. You know, this is not entirely Black History Month related, but at the same time, I just feel like our culture, our people have boosted these companies.
Okay.
up. They definitely weren't thinking of
If we're gonna
us in mind.
if
in
we're gonna
terms
look
of
at
wearing
something
stuff.
like Louis Vuitton, right? Gucci, like we're gonna look at these stuff. They would have been like handcrafted when they first started. It would have been like
which
a
they
prestigious
were,
thing, right?
yeah.
It would have been like something that they made with real quality as the,
Yes.
the focal point.
That's right.
I don't know who their target audience was back then.
Yeah.
but this is
It
what
wasn't us.
It was
for
not
sure.
us. They never knew. It would never have landed.
No.
in. But somehow the Black.
Have you ever been in a Gucci
Well-
store?
No.
Have you guys ever been in a high end store?
Honestly,
I refuse. To
I've
walk
been
inside
in
of them.
one Gucci store.
What I'm basically gonna point out is that
It
once
wasn't
you-
comfortable.
It's not a comfortable.
It wasn't a
experience.
comfortable experience.
It's not a comfortable
No.
experience. I remember going into like the first time ever going to like an expensive store, and it was I hate window shopping. Absolutely hate window shopping.
Right.
So when I finally could go in, it's because
You
nigga,
wanna
I could buy something.
You get, is
right.
it? All right.
But then I really didn't see anything that I liked.
I
But
don't
just
even like
because
their stuff.
I was treated like, why are you in here?
Yeah.
It was like, I'm gonna show this man that I can fucking buy anything I want if I want
That's the
it.
problem.
And then
That's the
I
problem.
didn't feel great.
Okay.
Afterwards. I'm like,
No.
I
it was
fucked
a
up.
uncomfortability that made me buy something.
Right.
To prove
Just
a
to
point.
prove a point.
Now,
Which,
just a
How many
question.
times has that played out in social media?
Just a question.
Go
just a
through
question
it.
for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that was in their business plan?
I think
No.
I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
a strategy now.
I think that was.
Really?
I
I
think
think
that's
they
a
know that. I
strategy
think they
now.
know
I
that.
think they think about who's going to advertise this, market this the most on social media, where we're going to get all of these clients, and who's going to showcase that they have this. What minority, what community is going to really basically do all of the marketing and advertisement for our brand
For free.
without for free,
Yeah.
without
Which-
us doing
which
anything.
is
Who's going to do
absolutely
that?
What we
And
did.
what are you gonna do when they piss you off and make you feel like you not no money when you walk
Yeah.
in there? First thing you gotta do when you walk out the store, before you even walk out the store, this is my shit right here. You know?
Yo,
I
out-
bought this.
We out here.
10 G's for this
Gucci
bag.
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Center. We out. York there, ma. Yo, we there.
Oh God.
That's fucked
No.
Yeah,
Facts.
Gucci. Like I remember just not too long ago when Future had that song about Gucci slippers or whatever,
Mhm.
and it was just like the biggest deal because you could talk about Gucci flip flops, and it's you know what I mean. It's ridiculous how we make things trendy,
Which
and
that's
we don't
right.
profit from it.
We never are in the actual top position
All right,
unless you're like Jay-Z or somebody.
exactly. Okay, but then speaking of that, why is it that we're not the type of people to support our people?
Self-hate has been taught to us.
This is something.
Self-esteem issues have been taught to us from generation.
You're for those that's listening, I know they can't see this. Listen to the podcast if you're on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, whatever it is. Nico's wearing an I Am Black History Month hoodie, fresh as shit. She's wearing
she's
Caribbean
representing.
earrings
Hold on.
right now.
From Dominica,
Not Dominican.
not Dominican
not-
Republic, the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Shout out to the Dominicans.
Hey.
She's wearing Dominican earrings. That's what they call Dominican earrings.
Yes, these
So
are.
you repping. So
No, I am.
what are the possibilities this was a white person that you buy from?
Ooh, okay.
It's actually high.
Hold on.
It's actually
Wait a second. Wait,
It's actually
Richard,
high.
what are you asking me right now?
Oh my god.
It is actually high.
Did you buy this from a white person and you came on the podcast?
Are you talking about my hoodie or my earrings?
I'm talking about both.
Okay, so I can firmly say I actually bought this hoodie at Pickering Town Center at their shop local. Shop
Pickering
Black
is very
local.
white. Pickering is a very white
They have a
neighborhood.
lot of-
Alrighty, and Nico Hodge is here to say that. Hold on a second.
Okay.
There is a black-owned store in Pickering Town Center
There's a lot.
Okay.
for Black History Month.
Shout them out.
Yes,
Represent.
and this is where I got the hoodie from. They have
Okay.
everything in the store is black-owned, locally sourced, black-owned.
Yeah.
And so that's where I bought the hoodie
We're
from.
seeing more of those stores popping up.
They need to be. Scarborough Town Center is a big mall that they have really invested in. There's a store there called Clarendon's, and it's black owned, and they do a lot of vintage thrifting. And I mean,
Old school.
premium vintage thrifting.
Nice.
Like I have an amazing Columbia jacket that is very expensive, but it's from a black owned company, and it's just. They're good at it. They're good at putting that out there and getting black people to buy it. And so that's a store you have to check out.
What about your earrings?
My earrings are from Dominica.
Oh, fresh.
Literally bought from Dominica.
Anything you see looking like that wasn't manufactured.
No.
No way.
Okay, I get it.
Literally bought from Dominica.
Got you.
So Mama Rosa did that.
Um,
In our
Who's Mama Rosa?
I shouldn't even say shit. My shirt was from like
but she made it.
ASOS. It's true. This is as European as it gets. It's not a good, not a good look. I'm wearing man.
I might have messed up. We should have came more for him to fit.
You know what, Shaq? I'm not even gonna get into that. I'll get into it. I feel like when I approached you guys,
when I, entered your house, Richard,
Yes.
I feel like my black hoodie was not properly recognized.
No,
and acknowledged.
you were
And I feel
wearing
like
a
that-
very fine jacket over it.
That was a racist moment right there, Richard. I feel like that
Fine.
should have been noticed. Should have been noticed.
It's all in the wording.
I see your point. When I did notice it though, I did think it was fresh.
I did
really
too.
did.
I was gonna bring it up, but I felt like it was a little too much because we had just finished
No,
talking about
but-
your earrings.
Yes.
So remember that. So remember that moment.
Okay.
Yes.
Remember that you thought you were gonna make me feel that way, and you didn't. I think what I
we
wanted
fucked up.
was I wanted you guys to notice that head to toe, Nico was in black owned.
Whatever happened to better late than never kind of thing. That never.
Well, you guys are better. I mean, sure, okay. No.
All right. Back to the topic.
Black.
Somebody got to be on point.
I know
Yes.
that we're not.
Okay, fine. But I would love to know what you guys think about these type of situations, especially speaking of the black-owned businesses and us not supporting each other. Have you ever do that? That's something that my wife and I take part of. We're like, yo, we're just gonna shop from black-owned businesses and whatnot, and
Right.
and I spoke to you before about Amex has this thing where you can see the
Right.
black-owned businesses on the maps, and then you go support them.
Which we
Right.
have a business idea that we spoke about.
We did speak
regarding
about that.
which
Shout-
we're not going to put on air, obviously.
Yeah,
Shit.
okay.
But it is.
Is that
very
something that
saddening
you
to
think
me.
about? Something that you guys should think about? Something we should think about when it comes to black-owned business?
Yes.
No, let me finish. I really need to get this out properly because it's something that I've had a conversation before, and I can see why people can feel awkward. Where, some people feel funny when you're like, this is black-owned, or this is black love, or this is black this is black that.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think that you should consistently promote black-owned businesses saying it's black-owned? Does that feel weird? Should that feel uncomfortable? There's people that feel uncomfortable by doing that.
I can understand that, where it's a little strange because it's kind of like, instead of it being pro-black, it kind of can come across as racist. Like
you have something completely against white people.
I'm literally specifically not looking to buy that Asian stuff because
It's
because
not
it's
black.
nice.
Yeah.
It's just because it's Asian.
Yeah.
So me don't want to deal with
I
it.
know your stuff is nice, but it's not black.
It's not black. So I can't help it.
Yeah.
You see me?
Here's
Talk
the thing,
about
though,
that.
and I want to go to the question that you posed at the beginning.
Sure, go ahead.
Which was, as a black community, where do we stand in shopping for other black-owned things?
Yeah.
Right? And I said this to you, Shaq, in the car. I said, I feel like the black community as a minority, as what we are we're crabs in a barrel. Like, we see black people climb up to the top or work hard to get to wherever they are, be the owner of this business, CEO of this business or this company.
Yeah.
And other black people are just so judgmental, critical on what's going on to the point where it's not critical for good. It's critical to just drag you down.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where I get crabs in a barrel. It's black people trying to get on top, but other black people dragging
It's
you
not
back
critiquing.
down.
They're not critiquing.
It's not
your
critiquing.
product or your
It's
business.
not critiquing.
Right.
It's saying, oh,
It's
you know,
negativity all around.
hold on a second. I can get this cheaper at this store that's not black owned. And I feel like, who are you to say that?
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about it now.
Yeah.
Netflix is raising their prices. Amazon's raising their prices.
Right.
All of these huge money-making and corporations, companies are raising their prices.
Right.
However, if my friend who has a black-owned business was to raise their hoodie price
You lost
to
a customer.
$75,
You lost customers.
are we losing customers? Are we supporting them?
From so long, you're gonna put up your price for me?
And you're not gonna give me the
Yes.
discount?
You're not even giving no discount?
No.
Why not, though?
Because did Gucci?
No, but I mean,
Did Louis Vuitton
but
give you a discount?
but
Alright,
you,
alright.
you're not Gucci. You're not Gucci.
But I could be.
But that's the thing, and that's the thing that people don't. They don't want to bring up, which is a conversation I've had with other people. It's like, yo, like for the Jews, for example, they bring up it's group economics. We don't do that.
Right.
How many times we say that, Shaq?
Hey,
we don't
do
do,
not-
group
do not-
economics.
We know nothing about group. You know what it is? It's our self-esteem being destroyed from slavery times.
We were, you know, it's conquer and divide is a serious thing.
They taught slaves to hate themselves.
Yes.
Slaves were our ancestors, and this is being passed down through generations. We don't even know it now.
All right,
Because
hold
even
on.
when we're not thinking about slavery
Let's
times,
talk about it.
the effects, the ripple effects
does.
carry on.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
Let's talk about it.
talk about it.
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
Shaq and I in the car today on our way here.
Mhm.
I was saying, think about how they would have. Think about, oh God, and hey, my Kenyan people, shout out to you guys.
Shout out to
come
the
through,
Kenyans.
Hey.
come
Shout
through. And
I
I'm
don't know the
picturing,
language, but-
let's put ourselves back in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Enslavement days time, where our family members are being kidnapped from these tribes and
Yeah.
brought onto these ships. Right now, I'm talking about these huge black men, muscular,
yeah.
6'5".
You would not fuck with them in a fist.
And I'm trying to envision it, right? I'm trying to envision this tall black man
Mm-hmm.
standing up next to this white man trying to get him on a boat.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, how?
Yeah.
How was that possible? How were they able to come in and just sweep us?
Yeah.
Just take us, right? And I said in the car, I said, I think it was a psychological warfare
Of course,
first.
100%.
I think they broke our spirit down.
It was. It obviously
Right?
was. I mean, it's been proven. It was psychological. It was things that you were promised, and then you realized that it wasn't.
It
what
wasn't
it was.
true.
Underhanded
I
tactics, which we deal with in society today. As a
And I mean,
business,
speaking about it now, we're all just talking from what we've learned,
Right.
What's out there, resources that are out there. But I mean, if you really want to dive into how you think,
Yeah.
like you as a human being
Yeah.
sitting there,
Yeah.
whatever color you are, how would you have been manipulated into doing this?
The
And I
thing
think that's
is-
important to think about.
the thing is, it's easy for us to say right now, like, oh, how did my ancestors get slaved out? Mm-hmm. I would never stand for that shit. I would fight.
I could
okay, but
never.
that's
I would
very-
have punched him. I
okay.
would have fought him.
No, hold on, let me
but
chime in.
check this. Right now, today, we
Yeah.
all sign up to go to these jobs, right?
You hate fucking work.
To blood clot.
You
We sign up
fucking
to go
hate
to
work.
these jobs.
I
and-
don't sign up to nobody's job.
You know how many? Yo, in Canada.
Not
I've-
anymore.
Listen,
I don't sign up to nobody's job.
you see, it's about
I work with boss level. You work when you want to work for a reason. But I will say the thing about this though is that even up to this day, we think slavery is finished. It's really not.
It is not. It's just changed forms.
It really
It's
did
just
because
changed.
Hold on a second. And I want to bring this up quick.
yeah.
What do you guys think about the NFL?
What do you mean
I'm
in
not a
terms of-
football person, realistically.
Well, so when you mentioned about slavery and how it hasn't changed,
Yeah.
let's look at the NFL. So let's
mean-
look at
okay.
how they're
Okay,
they're,
let's-
they're
Are we
choosing
talking, are we
these
talking Colin
factors.
Kaepernick?
yeah.
No.
But that's
No.
interesting itself because hey, what the Super Bowl just happened,
Right?
right? They're talking about people were spreading rumors. I'm gonna say it's a rumor because the NFL came out and said they never said this, but Eminem kneeled
Yes.
Right?
During his performance.
during the performance, whereas can't kneel.
The same performance with Dre and
Yeah.
halftime show. He
Yeah.
kneeled the entire. He kneeled in his part, which wasn't a long piece.
It was
right?
like after the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
still,
I think I saw that. They
he
still kept it
did,
in.
but the rumor came out that he kneeled anyway after they told him no. NFL said no, we actually watched the rehearsal the entire time and it was always there.
Right.
But point is, also Eminem has always represented for black people big time.
Right.
Well, I also wished it was us. I actually preferred if it was Kaepernick there kneeling.
Right.
Realistically,
Right.
that
If they
makes more
brought
of a
him out.
statement.
Okay.
Yes. You get my point?
You see the problem is we're not the ones with the money. And money is what speaks to everybody right now. We've gotten into this system setup.
Mm-hmm.
They've set up this system. They have set up this system where money is the only thing that fucking matters when you want to do anything. You want to breathe? You want to drink water, my nigga? You need money to drink water.
So, let's talk about facts. Let's talk about things like convict leasing, right?
Oh,
Whereas
yeah.
they abolished slavery, so they said. Just for people that don't know, because a lot of white people don't seem to fucking realize that slavery was just a couple hundred years ago.
It
ago.
was recent.
Okay.
It was recent.
But hold on, let's not forget. It's not just slavery, right? So let's talk about indigenous communities. For
Indigenous too,
Right.
for sure.
The last residential school closed in like the 90s.
Yes.
We were born.
Yes, we were still born.
We were born.
And they were terribly ripped from their culture and everything.
And their families, like your family, don't even know what happened
I
to
understand.
fucking you.
But no, speaking in Black History Month related terms, I am saying that you abolish slavery, they came up with the prisons. They came up with convict leasing, where, for those that don't know, convict leasing, correct me if I'm wrong, Nico, convict leasing was, once you went to prison or you were arrested, you can literally be forced into labor again.
Right.
Right? And what they would do is they'd work you to death.
To death, same
Yes.
shit as
And then
same
they'll
shit
just
as
keep
slavery.
leasing out somebody over again.
It's just a different way.
And the worst fucking part about all that, right? White people decided that they'll just start making fucking laws on you. So people just start pulling you out your house. You're already free, just to get you, because now you're arrested, right? And I'm talking about stupid shit like looking at a white woman was illegal.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like being out by a certain time. It's just real fuckery.
Just pure fuckery.
They just started making up literally for you to be arrested to just be forced into labor, which is where the prison thing comes into play. You're talking about where if a black person does this exact same crime as a white person, don't even talk about like the crack era. It's a regular crime that a white person does. You're almost like
you're gonna
8
get
to
convicted
14 times.
You're gonna get the maximum of whatever that conviction came in.
You'd be tried as an adult.
I do.
At 14 years
3
old,
to 4 times compared to a white fucking person.
Yes. At 14 years old, you steal from a store.
I-
You're getting tried as an 18-year-old.
Which is why I hate when
to
fucking
the maximum
people
degree.
tell me that there's no such thing as white privilege now. It kills me when I hear that.
Okay.
If we're gonna get into the white privilege, we can get into the white privilege.
No, I'm sorry.
No, but
I'm
before we do that,
Right.
I want to go on to, I have right now, I pulled up the Equal Justice Initiative.
Okay,
and
go through.
I want you guys to take note of that website. It's a really good website to get a lot of your
The
resources.
Equal
off of.
Justice Initiative. We'll put that
Initiative.
in the video.
Right.
It's Knicco with the facts right now. You see me?
And I wanted to talk about what happened during the industrialized revolution. And this is where you bring up about
Like-
convict leasing.
Yeah.
Right? And this now dives into the whole school to prison pipeline. So now this dives into how are black people already, like, how do they already have a spot in the prisons from since they were kids?
Yeah. Yep. Ooh.
And
Think about that.
but let's talk about it.
about that.
Yeah, facts.
That's
Think about
fucked
it.
up.
Think about it. But let's talk about it now. Let's talk about
Yeah.
it now. You as a primary school child,
yeah.
okay? And honestly, I think we have a lot of West Indian followers, so I will say I'm not versed on this in the Caribbean. However, let's talk about North America. Let's talk about you as an African American child being in these systems, in these school systems. Where did you end up, right? And this goes from being in school and having disability, behavioral problems, and your teachers calling and, calling the police on you, or even sending you to the principal's
Yo,
office
come
and
on.
saying, he's behaving like this and this, he's done this and this, but they're not taking note of maybe why.
Yeah.
So instead of them taken initiative into who you are as a person, as a human being. They're saying we have this black student, very radical in school, is not listening, will not sit and sit through classes, but will disturb other students, will fight with teachers. And so then what do? They send you to the principal's office. The principal's office calls the police station. The police station comes in. Where do they send you?
Are
to
you
juvie.
fucking listening? Are you guys listening to what she's saying?
To juvie. You get to juvie and you go through all of these, emotions, these feelings. You meet these people, and you get into maybe robberies and your criminal activity, right? And you get into that criminal activity.
Before that, you don't even have funds to get a decent lawyer.
Nothing.
You're getting somebody who's just a defendant. Government
literally the lowest,
place them.
The lowest pass of
so
the bar.
you take a plea deal. These things are but
once you hit juvie though, and that's the thing. Once you hit juvie though, it's a very hard turnaround.
It's not even a turnaround.
It's a very hard turnaround. It's how do I get from, how do I go from high school or primary school to juvenile detention?
But you're tried as an adult, especially if you're black.
Even if
from
you're not
so long.
Okay, let's say, all right, because you know why? I'm gonna bring this like this because there's people that's still gonna be like, oh, not everybody's tried it as an adult, right?
Fuck with your chat.
No. It's true. Not everybody's tried as an adult.
But I'm saying a black person is tried more
times. Yes,
as an adult,
percentage-wise,
for this exact same crime.
But let's talk about.
If you didn't know that, do some fucking research.
Let's talk about the people that's still not tried as an adult. Let me show y'all how this system is set up as such a trap you can't get out of, right? If you're not tried as an adult, but you're still dealt with you still go to juvie. There's still some level of you going to correctional institution, right? You're still gonna come out, and there's still gonna be a label on you where it's like probation kind of.
And you get a PO who's constantly on you,
right?
It's meant to keep you in,
right? But check this. They're gonna give you such a long time, 5 years or some shit.
That's the next thing. Your sentences is way longer.
That you can't do not one thing wrong.
Yeah.
And understand that this is in a system. If we're gonna talk about North America, we're talking about North America.
The prison system was made for black people.
It was made. All right.
It was made.
Let's get into it. I'm gonna bring out the journal article.
So within 5 years' time, Rich, how many times have you been pulled over?
I've been pulled over so many times for no reason.
No, but hold on, Richard. I want you to tell people where you live. Cambridge.
Okay. I live in Cambridge, where it's very white. It's
Cambridge,
white.
Canada.
I want you to describe the environment, and then I want you to describe the environment
so
of
white
being
outside
stopped.
where I live. It's we don't have green outside.
That's not what I meant.
It's right. It's very white. I just made the ice stay outside because it's white. It's very white where I live. But I get pulled over for whatever reason, and I'm talking about I barely ever get ticketed. They just pull me over.
You over to harass you.
Yeah, they pull next to me. They see me how I look. It was either my car is too fast, my car is too loud, to the point that I got rid of my car, started driving my wife's car, started driving my wife's grandmother's car. Doesn't matter what car I drive, I get pulled over. When I start driving my wife's car, they're like, she has too much of a nice car, so I still get pulled over. When I drive my wife's grandmother's car, it's like, well, it's registered under an old lady, so
you must have stole it.
Why is there a long hair dreaded youth?
This is what all right. This is what I was trying to get to. Never get a
ticket. It's just pulled over.
This is what I was trying to get to. Majority of people are gonna be stuck in this system where 5 years time you can't get into one fucking offense, or it becomes a big problem for you.
Right.
And you're not gonna get out. So within 5 years time you have to live underground because these people are pulling people over like that. You understand? I'm not gonna say for no reason, but they have been taught and brought up in a system where, imagine you go to the police academy, right?
Yeah.
And you're taught certain things. Some of it is not gonna make sense.
Yeah.
Just like when we went to school, every single person listening to this right now, you've gone to school and you heard some bullshit that didn't make no sense, but you still took it in.
You still took it in, yeah.
Because you're a kid and you were taught it.
Right, it's facts.
And you're trying to pass grades and shit.
Yeah.
You still have to take it in. Right?
Yo, but I wanna say something towards what Knicco said earlier. You see, when you're growing up and you're in kindergarten, preschool, or whatnot, and you for some reason people are complaining on you as a child. I want to say that is no different from when you become some sort of an accused on the bench.
Right.
When you're accused on the bench, right? I want to tell you how that fucking feels, right? And I've never been to court for anything serious. I've never been a felon. I've never done anything criminal. I'm talking about like paying parking fucking tickets, right? You're treated well. I've seen and I've been to court to see other people as well. The jury does not look like you.
Right.
So what that means is that as a person who can you imagine black people who's actually being on what they call a serious offense, and everybody in the jury is of the opposite race or majority of them.
Exactly.
Right?
How do you get them to understand? How do you get them to relate?
How can they relate to you?
It's a losing position.
No.
It's a losing position.
So it's easier for them to allow a white child not to be criminalized or looked at as an adult. Because, no, that reminds me of my nephew. That reminds me of my son.
Yeah.
No, but you, this black you with dreads, all you did was drive to go to work and then you got pulled over and all of a sudden...
And understand, modern day slavery has been white people being taught by their superiors, their overlords, their government.
Yes.
Shit like, oh, they're super criminals at 14 years old.
Well, that's what the news is showing. Without actually saying it, but yeah.
How could you be a super criminal?
What is a super criminal?
These are literally terms that were used.
This is where I don't know.
But I want
Spider-Man is doing criminals, but he's black. I have no clue what super criminal.
No,
is.
I want you guys to definitely take note of the language used.
Yeah.
A super criminal.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means he has this ability that no other people have.
Yeah.
They want you to be
To do this.
terrified of
And
you.
why are we
Creating
being
fear.
taught to be terrified of people of color who create crimes? How many documentaries have you guys watched on
Too
true
many.
crime killings?
Too many.
Okay,
Too many.
and
A lot.
who
A lot.
are
But
the
who-
faces of them?
Exactly.
Who are the faces of these true crime documentaries?
They're not black.
I mean,
No, I know, I want to hear it.
Okay,
who are they?
Because you brought that up, they're not black, like you said.
They're not.
Because you brought that up, what about school shootings?
Oh.
I'm yet to see it. Listen, I know that there has to be at least one black school shooter out there.
Yo, I don't know one Desmond doing school shooting yet. And when I fucking hear y'all talking about like black people this and black people that, I'm like, which news are you watching?
Bro,
What people are you
what
around?
the fuck are these people watching to still be thinking this way? You know, it wasn't until I came to Canada that people start cross the road when they see me in a fucking hoodie because it's cold outside.
Yo,
It's all of us are wearing fucking jackets and hoodies.
You know
Whether
what?
white, black, Asian, it don't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
But check this, they're gonna cross the street for me.
Yeah, okay, so let's chime into that. The whole American, North American, black.
That's what I was
Caribbean
about to
black.
get into. I want you guys to talk about experiences now that you only dealt with when you came
Okay.
up to North America.
Okay, so speaking to you, you've watched people behavior, you pay attention to the psychology part of it, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a difference between Caribbean black and North American European black?
Okay.
1 million.
But specifically North American black. Do you think there's a difference?
Here's the thing, and here's something that I might probably get penalized over. I feel like black is black. Black is black.
Okay.
Black is black.
Black is
now,
black,
depending on where you live, where you were raised,
Yeah.
the country you grew up in, that determines your experiences as
being
a
black.
black
I like
person.
that. I think that's
As
very
a
fair.
black person.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not talking, I don't want to speak in general terms of black people. I feel
Yeah.
like every black person has a different experiences, and we saw this with Chanel in the car.
Yeah.
Right? That every black person
Her
has a
being
different.
North American race and not really experiencing racism.
Well, there
For
you
those who don't
go.
know.
And then you have those African Americans or African Canadians who say to you, listen to me, as soon as I moved up here, all I have dealt with is microaggression, is racism.
Yeah.
And I want us to separate America from Canada now. I feel like now the three of us
Right.
all live in Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And let's separate that now. I feel like me, when I moved up to Canada, I had certain expectations.
Same.
I had
got
certain,
you. Got you.
feelings about things, how I wanted to do things. And when I got here, I was met with barriers. I was
Explain
met with
that. Talk about it.
blockades on
Talk
top
about
blockades. Right. So I moved up here and it was, okay, got to get that PR.
You're right.
Now, during your waiting process of getting the
Mm-hmm.
PR, you can't work, you can't
Yeah.
go to school.
Right.
Right? And already that's a big barrier for us.
It
because
depends. It depends, obviously, how you come.
how
in.
you come up
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Your first
But-
generation. You
So
come
for
up here
me,
and
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big barrier. But then getting involved in the workplace. I mean, I went to Seneca College, and I'm not afraid to say that name.
Talk that shit.
Seneca College.
Talk that shit, Knicco. Talk that shit.
You know, and I went to, I was at King City. I was at King City, and I was doing
King City up
behavioral.
north?
Oh, he doesn't know it? Yeah.
We didn't even talk about
I thought it was King Street West.
You went to King City up north? That's white central. I wouldn't go to King City.
Where were you, Richard, when
I
I
did
needed
not know
that
that.
2 years from now? Where were you to tell me that
shit.
2 years from now? I had no idea.
Okay,
I thought it was
okay.
King Street West. And that's probably my fault. Whatever.
Gotcha, Okay.
But I went to King
that-
City, which
yo,
is a predominantly white.
Wait, hold on. For the people that don't know, I thought Cambridge was white. She went to King City.
Listen, man. Listen. I was trying to better myself.
King City don't know what black is.
No.
There's no black car in King City. That's King City white.
No.
Black
It
clothes
was,
is illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough.
King
And
City black.
I happened to go to school right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I'm talking about I applied at the end of 2019, got in January
Oh, shit.
2020.
Alright.
You have to drive to go to King City, right? King City not bus.
Right.
No,
Now
you
both
have to
y'all
take a
know.
plane. What are you talking about?
Now both y'all
Private
know
jet.
Nico doesn't drive.
Yeah, so how'd you get to King City?
So I was spending 4 hours almost every single morning
Just
to
to
get
get-
to my 8 a.m. class.
Reggie.
So I was
4
waking up
hours,
at
That's,
Determination.
Imagine 4
yeah.
hours off your sleep
That's-
to go to school.
That's determination. That's what they get you.
Black people try to make it, man.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on, that's part of my
dedication.
struggle.
Talk about it.
That's part of my
huge.
struggle. But it was to get there, and one of the questions I asked in my classes, it was professional pathways, and they were talking about the resources that we have on campus. So they were talking about counselors, what we have to support your communities. And I asked them, and I said, do you guys have a black counselor or a black therapist? And they said, well, we don't have a
Not
black,
people
we don't
out there,
have, we don't have like a specifically black counselor, but we do take pride in talking and, helping people of color.
Interesting.
So
Which is okay.
completely wrong. So then I go to my doctor. My doctor is a person of color. And I tell her, Dr. V, I need help with this. I need help getting academic accommodations. I am neurospicy. I have ADHD. So I was trying to get academic.
Spicy.
Neurospicy.
I've
That's
never
literally
heard
a
that.
first for me too.
Yo, hold on. Neuro
I was
spicy.
Neuros-
learning for it to change.
Who the heck wants to go and say they have ADHD? No, I'd rather
So
say I'm
neurospicy.
neurospicy.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, that's
what
like
it
a
means?
new age term.
Yeah.
You see me?
I'm neurospicy.
No,
Are
sir,
you
I'm
kidding me?
neurospicy too.
Neurospicy actually sounds sexy.
I don't-
Yeah. We're trying to make
Yo,
it. We're trying to
just so
destigmatize
you
it, man.
guys
We're trying
know,
to we're trying to
man.
make it comfortable.
Mine's neurospicy.
Differently.
Yeah.
My neuro is spicy. You see me?
My neuro
can't.
is Indian, correct. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Yo, I get it.
I can't.
Sorry, I never heard that before.
Oh God, I can't with you. Anyways, neurospicy. Yes. So I was saying, Dr. B, I need help with this, and she said, I have a friend of mine who's a person of color who works at Newnham campus. Now, for those of you who don't know, Newnham campus is the, I guess, Scarborough campus of Seneca College.
It's
right?
Yeah,
And
West Toronto.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so she was like, she works there. I want you to go see her because then she can help you with getting involved in counseling services at King City. I went there, beautiful, beautiful lady. And she said to me, I can't help you because your program is at King City campus.
Ooh.
And you're not at
so
Seneca.
It's a different campus.
Right.
It is.
Okay.
It
It's
is
a different campus.
Yeah.
But then she said to me, however, I do know somebody by the name of,
That's-
and they, and they're black, and they can help you at King City.
Okay.
And I said, stop. They told me there were no black counselors
Okay.
at
alright.
King City. And she said, no, this person is a
Oh,
black
okay.
counselor who has helped many students in your fields.
Did they just
Why
not
was
know?
I?
Well, maybe
did they?
okay.
But
there's
that's the
also-
question.
there's
Did they not
also-
know?
There's
Probably
also
not.
a culture of I'm just here for a paycheck.
For a paycheck, yeah. We
No.
talk about that.
No, because I met with that counselor and she has been my ride or die.
No, not
She
disagreeing
got me
with that.
through my entire
no,
program.
I'm not talking about
Not
the culture. I'm
disagreeing
talking
with
about
that.
the people that you went for information.
Yeah, they
just
probably
But I
didn't
went to
know.
King City.
Yeah, I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm saying they probably didn't give a fuck to actually look into
Yeah,
it.
look into it.
right?
They probably
Because
didn't care.
I'm just
But
here
that's
for
a
paycheck.
problem.
It is.
Oh,
It's just
100%.
This is what we were
That's-
talking about
and
before. Is that if it's not in your radar, you don't relate to it. You don't really care.
You don't care.
Especially
You don't give a shit to
if you're
find
just
out.
there for a paycheck.
You're showing up for help. Whatever I know at the moment.
At the
is
moment,
all
is
I
what I
can
can
tell
tell
You know what? Let me
I'm not gonna
let me
look it
hold
up.
on, but now I want to round it off because it was a white lady who told me they had no black counselors.
That's what I'm saying.
So now I want to ask the question. You as a white woman, white man, white person, white identifying
Yeah.
in
White identifying.
People just
you said
identify.
you said what did you say?
You said
washing machine earlier. You said you said people could identify as a washing machine.
All right.
White identifying people.
Yeah.
They come in and they tell you certain things. But why is that a thing that you didn't know? Why didn't you know that there was a black person working in counseling?
Don't care to find
Don't.
out.
I
It doesn't
agree.
affect me.
I agree.
It doesn't affect me.
And it's not a regular question that are being asked. You know what I mean? It's
Especially
like-
out there, if there's no black people showing up, you're just like
Yeah.
one in a few.
But that's the thing. There are black people. There are multiple black people that were in my course.
Yeah.
And there were multiple black people on that campus that had the same ideologies as me and thoughts as me, where
Yeah.
it was like, we don't feel like we're being heard, or, there are certain things being said in class that's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. So your thing was like she didn't put in enough work.
No,
She didn't
my
care.
thing was me as a brand new student of Seneca College coming in
Talk that shit, Niko.
at the first class of professional pathways where you are speaking to me specifically about counseling services.
Talk that shit, Niko.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I have asked you a specific direct question.
I agree.
Are there any black or person of color
I think-
counselors
Yeah.
in your hold?
I think
in
if
that
they didn't know,
part.
they
And you
should have
tell me
said it.
no.
Yeah, no is a very affirmative answer. So-
Now, if you had told me, you know what, let me get back to you on that. I'm sure we have, but I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that we do.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, thank you. But for
That's-
you to
that's
stand up
different.
there and
To
tell
say
me
no,
absolutely,
and
no,
then you
you
find
don't.
yeah, it's rough.
No, you don't. And that's something that people are not thinking about.
Okay, let's also talk about right now why that would have been important to you in that situation. Why people are gonna be like, well, what? People that are clueless are gonna be like, well, why is it important that she has a black counselor? Why can't she just have a counselor?
A counselor.
You guys don't fucking get it, okay? Because the system is designed around you.
Sorry,
Around
hold
you.
on a shock. Who don't get
Me I talk about white people.
it? Why?
Listen to me.
I'm
One of
teaching
my-
Those of the
Alphabet, white
Caucasian
people.
community.
Listen to me. One of my best friends is white, huh? So none of y'all can come
Yeah.
at me. I'm
Yeah.
racist. So fuck off.
Yo, you racist.
Listen to me. I'm talking about white people because
Yeah.
if you live in a culture that's designed for you, so you have no clue what's going on the other side of the
Yeah.
thing where it's not designed for you.
Yo,
Everything's catered to you.
About it. Talk
If
about it.
Everything's
don't-
catered to
If you're
you.
looking for, like Nico was looking for a counselor,
Yeah.
somebody that can relate.
But why
to
would
you.
Nico need a specific black counselor?
Because it's somebody that can relate to you. Somebody that
White
looks
people
at
can't relate.
Listen, somebody that looks at you.
White people can't
Somebody
relate.
that looks at your situation from
Yeah.
the same lens as you.
Yeah.
Me and you can both look at
I know,
the same
I'm going to go
picture.
ahead and say, no, Richard, white people can't relate.
I just wanted to say it.
No, Richard, white
just
people
want
can't
you to
relate.
say it.
They can't relate.
So, but here's the
they
thing.
can
But
understand though.
here, let's talk
They
about.
can
They
understand.
All right. So with that being said, us three of us from Antigua, we all live in Canada together, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we also are very diverse in terms of friendship.
Right.
We have white friends.
Right.
We have Asians
Right.
friends.
Right.
We have friends as dark as tar.
You're right.
We have friends everywhere.
Right. All different
Which
colors.
from our perspective, they're all treated the same. Right?
Wait a minute.
In terms of from us, they're treated the same.
From
we don't
us,
treat,
yeah,
we,
yeah,
don't treat, we don't
yeah,
treat them
yeah,
different.
yeah.
I'm sorry, in case y'all didn't get it. We treat them all the same because they're friends to us.
Right.
However, speaking about not understanding your point of view, you think now that your white friends get where you're coming from?
Hell no. You know how many times we talk about shit in friend groups and it's like
Yeah.
they have no idea that shit was happening?
Yes. We need to talk about that because white privilege is a serious thing. Us being from the Caribbean and people not knowing
Oh, she
that
made
white...
it notes for y'all.
Listen,
looking at.
we started off this podcast episode talking about that white privilege and being from the US and the Caribbean can be different, especially if you're black as well. We can speak about how it's different, you know, how you're raised being black and whatnot. White privilege in the Caribbean and in North America? Talk to me.
Are totally different.
Does white privilege exist still?
Okay, so
It's a
Knicco-
yes or no. Does white privilege exist?
1,000,000%. But
In the Caribbean, does white privilege exist?
See, all right. So Knicco brought this up, and I want Knicco to speak.
Does
about
white
this.
privilege exist in the Caribbean?
Is it white privilege or is it?
I think it's a mix of both. I think it's both.
Talk to me. What do you think?
And let me tell you why. And I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
start off with colorism. And I want to start off with colorism because I feel a lot more comfortable talking about that one.
That's fine.
Right?
Okay.
All right.
So let's start off with the fact that you have a friend group in the Caribbean, right? Or you have a best friend that has a lighter skin complexion as you.
Right. Y'all think about y'all friends, okay?
Yep. Think about your friends that you have. Think about them. Especially if you're from the
No,
Caribbean.
I
Think
need
about them.
I need you guys to really do that.
say what you're
I
saying.
need you to think about, the friend groups that you were in. And I'm not speaking specifically. I want you guys for right now, I want you guys to go general. So I want you to talk about maybe the friend groups that you had or the friend groups that your friend group had.
Yeah.
So, that branched
That you
out
know about.
into smaller circles.
And in the Caribbean, you know.
Yeah.
You have your groups,
And I want you to speak about, how maybe they accessed or had easier access to things than you did.
Who's
Talk
that? Who's
about
that?
it.
Who's that?
And I'm talking about your lighter skinned friends.
All right.
I'm talking
Easy.
about your light skinned
Right.
friends. I'm talking about your white passing friends.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I want you to sit down and really just think about, and this is not a situation for you to sit down and think about and bash them, eh?
No.
This is
Facts
a
not
situation
facts.
where I want you to
it's not
sit
their
down
fault.
and
Facts
think
is
about
facts.
and hold yourself accountable in situations, and maybe also if you are comfortable enough, if you have that foundation of friendship to bring up to those friends of yours
Right.
and say, this is probably how you benefited
Yeah.
a lot easier than
Yeah,
me.
but then
This
what
is-
about...
But
Hold on. What about the friends them that you have that would say, yeah, but I mean, I grew up in Jamaica. I grew up in Antigua. I grew up in St. Lucia. I grew up in Cayman, and I'm white, and I went through a lot of difficulties, where I went for this job and they only said they only want black people.
Okay, cool, valid. Next.
Wait, valid why?
Valid
what they
because
do.
you as a human being, and I'm
Yeah.
not talking about race. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the skin complexion. I'm saying you as a person, as a human being, you deserve to have those feelings validated. However, if you are white passing or a white person, I also want you to stop and acknowledge that you had a lot more privilege than those of a darker complexion. And this goes in a lot.
I
alright.
really hope that some
I am
people
not
realize
saying
this.
that your lighter skinned friends are better or whatever.
Right.
What I'm saying is I want them to have that accountability, that power to sit back and say, you know what? My skin complexion probably got me to where I am.
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? All right.
Most
all right.
people I know would never admit to that.
Let's dive into that.
Dive as far as you can go to
Let's
that.
dive
I
into
want
that. Let's dive
snorkel
into
into that shit.
Because all right, I now we're talking about this right now. I can specifically remember a time where it was me and the football club. We went to a trip in Venezuela.
5 piece.
5 P's.
Ooh, 5 P's.
We went
Shout out to 5 P's.
we went on a football trip to Venezuela.
That's real football, not NFL.
Not NFL
Soccer.
type football.
Yeah, this is
right.
soccer.
Soccer, but not soccer.
Yeah, go
Football.
you.
You see
Go
me?
you.
We went over there and it was to play games. And
Where'd
shit,
you
blah, blah,
go?
blah. Venezuela.
Venezuela.
And Venezuela is fucking hype, okay? But it's deadly as well.
Yeah, it's
We were in a guarded
criminal
compound.
activities.
Fucking machine gun guards.
Yes.
You see me?
Yeah.
What?
We
Yeah.
went to a volleyball game outside the fucking square and it was gunshots. All you hear is bare gunshots coming when we were leaving. Anyway, we went over there and I was thinking about it just now, like what she was talking about, the color of your skin.
Colorism
changes
is real.
things.
Yeah.
For us to get through on the plane, and this was it was us. It was our plane, you see me?
Yeah.
A bunch of us on there, like the whole squad, everything.
Mm-hmm.
The local the black youths them from Bolans in Antigua. Shout
Yeah.
out Bolans.
Yeah.
Bro, they had a hard time. Harder than me.
Why?
Yes.
Why do you think?
Honestly, at the time, I was so young, I didn't even think nothing of it. I did not think, I thought it was just because they never flew before. So now they're questioning them, why you're flying now?
Yo.
But it's because they're black.
Yo.
Blacker than me. And look at my skin complexion. For those of y'all watching, I'm not the darkest motherfucker on the block.
Jack is not the
can I
darkest
chime-
Antiguan
can I
we
chime
know.
in? I am not the darkest person, luckily, because I have Dominican Spanish in me, and we're still dark. But You know how I used to have to fly to the airport? I used to have to wear a fucking long sleeve shirt and a tie. I used to have to wear a suit.
Man, I had to suit up for look businessy.
Just as much as possible. I used to have to try and look non-threatening as possible.
Fuck me,
Yo,
boy.
and I'm talking about, I did this for decades now, where I'm married, my wife is fucking white passing, and you're talking about, she travels with a sweatpants and sneakers, and I would still wear fucking church shoes. And she couldn't understand, why am I fucking wearing all this to go out? I'm like, you know how much I don't want them to bother me?
Right.
I have nothing, and then
we don't want them to have any questions.
any questions.
Any question. We don't want them to stop
Because
us for nothing.
as soon as they pull you into that room, they're looking for shit to
Shaq,
fuck you
as
up.
soon as I got my
Absolutely.
PR and I left and I went to Antigua,
I remember.
random check.
I remember.
Random check.
Pull you into that
I'm
green
wearing a fucking tie. I have nothing on me. You have a random check,
Right.
and I'm the only one that got
Just
randomly
you.
checked.
That's how you go, you know.
And then when I have white friends that tell me that there's no such thing as white privilege, like, it's fucking disappointing.
No, it is. No, it is.
But you have
no,
to
it
understand.
is.
You have to understand. Those people that will say that there's no such thing as white privilege.
You know how many places my wife and I go and
It's
they
because-
just allow her to come in
It's because you have.
and no questions?
It's because they have no clue what's going on the other side of things.
Okay, now you as a black person, Shaq. You as a black person, do you think it's your responsibility to take on the fact that this Caucasian person has no idea what the heck I'm talking about or how the heck I'm feeling?
Honestly, okay, like you said, if it's my friend, friend, he would have already known, or she would have already known.
Yeah.
Because we would already be talking about it.
Yeah.
I'd have already told you, yo, man done get hang up at the fucking airport just now for no reason.
Right.
And they would be pissed with me.
Yeah.
They'd be pissed that this shit is happening. Maybe they might even make a fucking phone call.
Yeah.
Karen style, isn't me?
Yeah. But it also depends, because I've mentioned it to somebody before, right? And a white friend, and they were like, "Oh my God, you're complaining about the taking long to go to the airport? Like, the fact that we can fly is a big deal. It usually takes 20 days to get here before."
Who the fuck's talking like that? No,
I'm just
I'd slap that motherfucker.
no,
I swear to God.
but that's the thing. That shows you how disconnected
It's
we are.
a disconnect. Between the two fucking races, we can be friends, and I can know you,
Yeah.
and we can be brethren when we go out, but you have no idea what's going on my end, and I also have no idea what's going on your end. Maybe there's times where I'm probably thinking, yo, this motherfucker just probably slides through the airport.
Yeah,
Probably
absolutely.
Just like fucking
You don't see
moonwalks
white people
and
just
slides
wear
through.
shorts and just
It's nothing.
they're
It's
going
casual.
straight to the beach, to the
because
airport.
because you know
I
what?
can't do
okay,
that.
let's talk.
I'm happy
specifically-
you guys are thinking about
Let's
this.
talk
though.
specifically
No, it's
in the
facts.
Caribbean. Specifically in the Caribbean, what's been your experience? Because I know for a fact, if you're a fucking local and there's somebody else that's a fucking tourist,
Yeah.
it's not even the same ball
Totally
game.
different.
And not even close.
Totally
But
different.
I can kind of understand it to an extent where it's like the locals are not going to be treated as high as the tourists, because the tourists are the ones bringing money in.
Right.
And our country,
Who
our
are
whole
you?
economy thrives off
Yeah.
of tourism.
Yeah.
right?
Who are you? Yeah.
But when it comes to like she said, like Nico said, the colorism aspect,
Yeah.
where we're all locals now, but your skin is lighter than mine, I know that person can get treated differently.
everyone
Let's- no,
does it.
hold on, let's-
Everybody does it.
Let's dive deeper now.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to talk about the ones whose skin tone is lighter than us. I want to talk about the white locals.
Okay, talk about it.
The white Dominicans, the white Antiguans, not
Yeah.
specifically, but just how has their life
Mm-hmm.
benefited them? How has their privilege benefited them compared to local black Antiguans?
Okay.
Do you see a difference?
There
Do you
is a
see a
difference.
difference in that?
There is a difference, because
Do you see a difference in the friendships?
difference in the friendships. What do you mean?
So I'm talking about, you have a white friend,
Yeah.
right? That's probably just as Antiguan as you,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
They're usually
Born
more.
and raised.
They're usually more.
Yeah.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Have they had any privilege in getting to where they are, where they were?
Yes, you
Other
have
than
to.
you.
You have to,
1,000,000%.
because we've consistently spoken the fact that black people look more threatening from before. You judge me before I even get in. You know how many places you have to
But
go?
I'm speaking about local black Antiguans. I'm speaking
Yes.
about other black people
Yeah.
who look at a white person and say, we're going to take their business over another local black Antiguan
Yes,
business.
of course.
What is that?
Do you know why? It's because like
Because
I said,
they're non-threatening.
No. It's not because they're not threatening. It's literally. She said she's talking about the business aspect.
Okay.
The reason
What
is
would be
because
the reason?
there's an assumption among all of us, literally all of us black
When I
people.
was talking about
Crabs
before
in a
when it
barrel.
comes to the black businesses,
where
you're
we
not supporting them as much.
believe that the white person's business is forever lasting. Theirs is
Where a white person's business is real and legit, and a
Our
black
business
person's
is
business is a
trying to
trial.
Yeah.
We're going through a trial.
We're
period.
trying.
We're trying to make it.
We're
that
just
way.
helping. We're just helping them out.
Maybe
Exactly.
maybe they might work out. Maybe they might.
Maybe
And they
they won't.
really know what they're doing
Maybe they
because they're
won't.
white.
But for some reason, we trust what comes out of a Caucasian mouth. We trust what comes out of a white person's mouth.
This is
Why?
very true.
All right, so we're
Because
talking about black
I
history.
do feel like it has a lot to do with them coming off non-threatening.
No. It's black history. We've been taught.
Yes.
It's been instilled in us to not have our self-esteem way up like them. Do you understand that a white person growing up will literally believe they can do anything?
But
And a
yeah,
black person
and that's
growing
what I was
up
gonna
will
say.
be taught that no, you
I'm-
need to go get a job because if
I'm
you
not
try that,
gonna-
you're gonna fail. How many
Yeah.
family members have told you? We talked about this in
We spoke
episode
about this.
10.
Yeah, with Kai. Yeah, we
You're
spoke
gonna
that.
fucking fail if you try that shit.
Yeah.
Our self-esteem as a community has been deleted.
Yeah.
We don't. How many?
Conquer and divide.
It's literally a shining star. A man like Jay-Z or Puff Daddy that will come out of nowhere and be like,
I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to disagree though on what you said.
Speak
I feel
on.
like white people can be very threatening. I feel like they can be
I'm
very
not saying
intimidating.
that they can't.
They
be.
can be very.
I'm
They
not
can
saying
come
that.
across
Appearance-wise, though.
as yes or no. But that's the thing. I don't look at a white person and think to myself, this person looks very threatening. No, I'm thinking psychological. I'm thinking, what does this white person have over me that they could use against me to
that's
get
interesting.
further in business? And that's where I took that point that you said, where it was like our black locals, wherever have trusted what comes out of a white person's mouth business wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Why?
It's because
Why?
we don't grow up to actually know, right? Like, so okay, the businessman back home who's black, his parents didn't teach him how to be a businessman.
No, not necessarily.
His parents didn't teach him a bit about business. If he's a businessman at heart, he grew up and he eventually found out his way through business. And he started his business and now he's dealing with white people and there's this preconception somehow, somewhere along the line, we get this point of view where white people know what the fuck they're talking about.
That's what I'm saying is that even if me and you me and a white person go to the same person who needs, same customer whatsoever, and we're both proposing something to them, they'll just prefer the white person, even if they're charging more, because it's just that it's instilled in most black people that they know what they're talking about.
It's a self-esteem thing.
Yeah, it is.
Listen,
and that's why I said before is that we don't support our kind enough.
I've seen it. I've seen it play out.
That's constantly
Check
happening.
this out. A black person's verbiage when it comes to business and a white person's verbiage when it comes to business.
Yes.
When you're growing up and you get to that point where you start your own business and blah, 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 whatever, a white person's going to be like, listen to me.
You can say the exact same fucking thing.
But in a
Both
different
y'all.
way.
Both y'all can say the
the white-
exact same thing.
The majority of the time, the white man is going to be like, listen, this is exactly what's going to happen. And this is exactly what I'm going to bring to the table.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. This, that, boom. Fucking deal's going to feel closed because the white person's self-esteem is so
That's
high.
bullshit.
His confidence level is ridiculous.
It doesn't matter.
Listen
I don't
to
think
me.
it matters.
Listen to
The
me.
black
I do.
person's
Listen to me.
confidence could have been the same.
Listen to me, dog.
Could have been the same,
Listen.
and you would have still judged them.
No, dog. Listen to me. The black person is gonna approach it different. He's gonna be more approaching it whereas like, not that I don't give a fuck whether you tell me yes or no. It's gonna be more like I hope it's a yes because we're coming from a different place.
Here's what I want to describe it better. I think what Shaq is saying is that a white person approaching another white person for a business investment is going to be completely different than a black person approaching a white person.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that in terms of white people have this entitlement over them that they just feel that they can just come in and say this and they can say that and it gets away with it, right?
Yeah. Their confidence
Now as a
is
black
insane when they approach that situation.
Now a black person who's in that same predicament, who's coming in maybe to recruit an investor, a new investor, a white, let's say a white investor, you don't think they're going to overcompensate?
Right.
You don't think they're going to overdo it
We're thinking
to get that person's investment?
because we're the ones in a position of weakness, not power.
we already
that's how
have
we
been
already put
looked
it
down
in.
upon,
I see,
right?
The self-esteem. Yo, I will relate
self-esteem.
everything back to self-esteem.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
absolutely.
The one thing, and I think I read this article somewhere. The guy who there's a guy who came over similar to Christopher Columbus, and he studied what was happening when it came to the slavery, and he said, "Listen to me. These people are proud fucking black people.
Jeez.
There is gonna be no way that we're gonna overtake them
Yeah,
or do
facts.
anything to
Yeah.
them unless we break their self-esteem."
And what did they do?
What did they figure out how to do?
They broke our
It
self-esteem.
came down to the self-esteem, because if I feel like you can't tell me what I have to do, and I feel like
When you have that,
I'm
Then
gonna do
who are you to
anything
have a
else.
say?
Yeah.
How are you gonna stop me? How are you gonna do anything to me? But when I feel like, oh, well, it's the white person and it's the white person business, and I have to do what they say because this is their rules, and
it's
must
different.
must
No, I
defeat
see
me.
your
It
point.
is,
No,
yeah.
fair enough. No, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I know. I get it.
No, what I don't want. I don't want this episode to come out like we're a bunch of anti-white motherfuckers, you know.
No, I think
'Cause
it
like
needs
I
to be
said, my
a
best friend,
wholesome.
one of my best friends, them is white.
We need to address it. I
Alright.
have a couple good friends. I mean, my best friends are white too, so it's not about that. But we need to address these things. You know,
Listen to me. You can have all the white best friends you want, right? It's the ones that are able to sit down and have these tough conversations with you. It's for me to be able to go over to my white best friend and say, listen to me, you know, when we were kids, I want you to know that, you know, this situation happened and you as a white person benefited a lot more than me.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I want to point out that, you know, whatever situations that may have happened between you guys, it's the fact that you can sit down and you can have that conversation, that hard conversation about it, where you can look at that white friend and you can also identify parts of them that could be biased, that could be racist, right? And say, listen to me, how you say that thing, how you say this thing, or how you said that to that person can come off very controversial, can come off very racist, harmful, hurtful, traumatizing. And they're not thinking of it like that because they were not raised in an environment to think of it like that. But if you can have those
they're not actually trying to harm somebody.
No,
it's
they're
nothing
just
like that.
They're just living through their life, how they were raised, how they were learned to do it, right? But it's coming to this conclusion, and I think that's what George Floyd 2020 brought out of a lot of people, was how many of us black people, and I'm going to be specific in saying that, black people, people of color, how many of us were able to go to those token white friends of ours who've been around since time and say, listen to me, this is how you could have been harmful to me, or this is how you were harmful to me, or if they even approached you and they asked you, you know, what can I do as that white friend to really, you know, accommodate to you guys, to support you guys, and to look at them and say, this is what you can do, and to have them respond with no judgment, with no, you know, criticizing, without feeling, but as a black person, without feeling like you're somehow asking for this, but also demanding it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a rough position that humanity has taken us to, where we literally we're in a place right now where we can have fucking white friends, but then not be on the same fucking level ever. It's rough. It's
and
rough.
that's what I think I would call a token white friend. I mean, I have white friends who are very personal to me, and they're my bestest friends, and we speak about these really hard topics, right? And then I have white friends who I don't. Like, I have white friends who I've never even brought up race to.
Right. Some people
you know
are
what I
open-minded.
mean?
Some people
are open-minded.
That's
some
not
people
a
are
white or
not.
black thing. That's just a thing.
I think there are white people in the world who do want to understand and do want to accommodate to our feelings. They want to understand how we feel. They want to try to make our situations better when they are around. And I think those are people to definitely look at and be like, I want them around.
Well,
but
you have to appreciate them.
Appreciate that friendship, right?
Because they would be looked at.
But I also don't want But I also don't want black people to fear that friend. I also don't want black people to reach this zone in their head where they're afraid to speak up and say, you know, what they should be saying.
No, you're right.
To that white friend.
Right. Yeah,
you know, you want to have that sense of comfortability between you and that friend of yours. And I feel like in the Caribbean, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, you know, sitting here and discussing all kinds of topics in the Caribbean. I mean, we speak about everything. We relate on a lot. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, when it comes down to what do you feel about this? Yeah, like how can we help, for example, Antigua, Dominica, wherever, become this better island of inclusivity? Right?
Well, okay, all right, I can put it, for those listening, I can put it in a kind of simple way, right? Like, imagine you know your neighbor and their house caught on fire while they were sleeping. And they got burnt, right? They're burnt, their house is on fire. They got out of the situation. They're still burnt. They're still dealing with that shit. Their house is literally burnt the fuck down. Everything that they owned disappeared overnight, right? You know that is fucked up, but it didn't happen to you. So even though you know it's fucked up, you're going to try and provide support or whatever. It still doesn't impact you the way that
it wouldn't.
You can't put yourself fully in that person's shoes.
That is interesting.
Until it happens to you.
But the thing about even another way around, right? I've heard white people say, like, I mean, I understand where black people are coming from, but I'm not them. Like, I wasn't there. I wouldn't do that.
Right. Okay. So Nico and I spoke about this in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, it was like, these people, they did not do this shit.
Yeah.
They weren't their ancestors.
What about the people that say that they didn't take part in this?
They weren't their ancestors. And they wouldn't slave out somebody today, right?
Yeah. That's what they say. Yeah.
That's all well and nice. But the problem comes in where your ancestors did this shit and they set it up. They set it up in a way that you
will benefit. You will benefit.
The fruit from their loins are gonna carry on and benefit, which any of us would.
Absolutely.
I'm out here grinding because I want my daughter to be fucking
but
right,
it's
and her.
But here's the thing, though. Right? When you have that situation, I do like to differentiate. I do like to say, listen to me. Yes, I lost my thought.
No. Yes.
I like differentiate. Like, yes, you know, you have been through that, and that's what you're establishing for us. However, we still need to hold your ancestors accountable. We are saying you as a white person, you as a person of Caucasian descent,
right?
You did not enslave my ancestors.
No.
Okay, cool. But your ancestors did. And so now what I expect of you is to speak up in moments I can't.
Right.
If I cannot reach a certain place and you understand that it is because of your white privilege that you are at that level, I do, yes, absolutely. Expect you to speak up and say, listen to me. My black friend, who's my coworker, who does the same exact work as me, probably even more, should be making the same amount of money as me.
Exactly.
But, so here's where the problem with that comes in, right? Where how do we decide, how do we determine when is the time for white people to speak up on our behalf and when is the time for white people to keep their mouth shut? Because there's times where we need to fucking talk and people need to hear us.
You know when you need to shut the fuck up? When I just saw that video and you just call a guy the N-word. That's when you need to not even say shit.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
You're pissed off and you feel a certain way about a black person. What makes you think that you can say the N-word?
Listen, whatever that black guy did to you when you said the N-word, you deserved it.
For those that don't know,
deserved it.
Unless he killed
17 times.
It was 17 slaps
times.
Is what you got?
Yeah.
You deserve that shit.
Yeah.
You deserve all that shit.
I'm not sure if you said the N-word again to him during the altercation. But it's like,
he deserved that shit.
Okay, so I would love to hear your point of view. Is a white person allowed to say the N-word? Was the guy doing too much?
Of course not.
Listen, why would a white person?
Social media. If you're white and you know
you are not supposed to say the N-word
right now, you exist right
and
now,
and you're saying the N-word, you're doing it intentionally.
You deserve everything. Yeah.
If you are a white person in this day and age, who is saying the N-word, whether it's in a song, whether you're hanging out with your black friends, if you are saying
Kendrick Lamar.
If you are
you're
saying
not allowed to say it in songs either.
Understand that you're doing it intentional.
It's a song for us.
This is something you wanted to say.
That
You've been wanting to say.
was very comfortable saying the N-word. Okay, so let me say this. Let's speak to the white audience right now. Yeah, you see me? So you've been around black people your entire life. You hear a couple Cartel, you hear a couple Kendrick Lamar, couple 50 Cent, right? Couple Eminem. And Dr. Dre, who says a lot of N-words. So, can they say the N-word?
No.
No.
You know why?
Why is that even a question?
Not even as a
Listen to
song.
me.
Not
Listen-
even as a song.
No.
Because you know why?
Why?
They are around that friend, and that friend is very comfortable with them, or those friends are very comfortable
Saying
with
it.
them.
What about they saying it to themselves? They just
No.
rehearsing.
But you
No,
see, this is
listen
where
to me,
I
listen
don't
to
even
me.
agree with that one.
Listen to me. You're around your friends, right? Your friends are black, and you're just that one single white guy. And you're around your friends, and your friends accept you. You're still not allowed to say it because somewhere around the world, there's somebody getting killed. While we're talking on this podcast right now, there's somebody in America or somewhere in the world getting killed because he's so-called a nigger.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Facts.
But
You're
it's
not-
not
you're
just
not
that.
allowed
It's
to
that
say
you as a white person who are coming out and you're saying this N-word, whether it be in a song or wherever,
Yeah.
you really don't think somewhere else in the world somebody is using that same word from a white person to hurt us? You think another white person is not looking at us and saying that's that fucking nigger,
That's
that
what I'm
dirty
saying.
ass
That's what I'm
nigger?
saying.
And I feel
That's
like
what
if they
I'm saying.
can't say it in one aspect, they shouldn't be able to say it in any.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you
what I'm
never know. You never know what intention lies behind calling us that.
Right.
Even if they say, "Yo, I'm only saying it because
What you guys are
Dr.
saying.
J halftime
Right.
show."
You guys are saying it. Like,
yeah, man.
I'm
what's
not.
good?
I don't feel no. I'm not trying to hurt you guys. You guys are saying it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're saying it as more of a we got hurt by it.
Yeah.
So let's take it over. We want to use it as our own shit now. You see me? We don't want y'all to have a specific word and we can't
you
even
think black
use it
people
neither.
should say it?
I don't know. Either way. I use
That's
that
a
shit.
question. No, but that's a question we gotta ask.
I use that.
I mean, who
listen.
knows?
Should we be saying it as black people? Should we be saying nigger? And I'm saying nigger.
I don't say nigger.
That hard R.
I don't
Should
say
we be saying nigger?
Yeah.
But look, I'll say nigger. All right.
Yeah.
But let's check this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we in general should not be using it.
Yeah.
The problem comes in though that that was a word that white people used against our ancestors to slave our ancestors and keep us in a certain level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now if we're not even using it and they're still gonna be using it,
Yeah.
we're not using it in a positive light, but it's only gonna be used by them in a negative light, then we're still in the same situation.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so then what about for the white people?
We can't dictate what they do, you know.
Okay, what about for the white people who aren't being malicious and they're like, but I mean, I said it because of a song. I don't see color.
Oh my god, I don't see color, but you're using the word nigga.
The white people that says I don't fucking see color. I would love to hear your point of view on it.
But you don't say.
I don't want to hear your point of view.
Okay,
on
so
it.
white.
No.
people-
I don't want to hear what they're. No, I don't.
What is your thoughts on
I do.
it?
I do.
What's your
I think
thoughts?
we need to. I think we need to see each other's
What's
sides
your
and
thoughts
opinions
when
more.
somebody says I don't see color?
Listen to me.
That's
If you,
garbage.
as a white person, has come up to me and said you don't see color, I'm gonna be like, okay, go back, try again.
That's garbage. That's garbage.
Try again, because I am of color.
Because you
Yeah.
know,
Right?
You know,
I am brown. However,
Yeah.
my brother is darker than me.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't see color?
Right.
What does you not seeing color mean?
Okay,
Does it
okay.
mean that everything is
Let's-
either black or
No,
white?
no, no,
Because then that's
no,
a
no,
problem.
no.
Yeah.
Let's
That's-
break it down. Let's break it down.
Yeah, got you.
What does I don't see color really mean?
Well,
they're
when
trying to
this-
say. They're trying to say
Everyone is equal.
that
And,
they're trying to say
But
that
that's a
they
problem,
personally.
'cause we're not.
They're trying to say that they personally
Mhm.
don't hold another race against another race. They're not trying to say
Yes.
that one race is over another race, but that's them personally. But you know what the fuck's going on in the world because you live in the world.
Yeah, but they don't see color.
They maybe don't hold one race against another race, but they know that other places in the world they do.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to say I don't see color is invalidating what the fuck's going on in the
Yeah.
other.
It is. It's
Other
very
people's
invalidating.
It is. Absolutely.
Is it?
I agree. I absolutely don't think you should go around saying
I think
don't
as a
see
white
color.
person, as an American white
Yeah.
person, if you come out and you say, you know what, I don't see color.
Yeah.
I think that's extremely invalidating and very disrespectful because what do you mean that police officer just killed this black guy? What do you
Yeah.
mean you don't see
how
color?
Casual, you see how
Yeah.
casual you just said that? Like, okay, let's imagine.
I also think people try to do it from a good space by saying, "Yo, I don't see color," and I'm trying
But
to.
you
teach
see, I
my kids
struggle-
that
I struggle with
all of
that.
us are the
Bro.
same.
I struggle with dealing
Imagine
with
right
people
now.
like that.
Imagine right now, aliens came down from fucking space.
Aliens, right?
Listen to me.
Okay.
Imagine
Listen
right
to
now,
him.
aliens came down from space, right?
Yeah.
We would not talk about it as, oh yeah, aliens came down from space the other day, and anyway, we'll just carry on with our conversation. It wouldn't be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens fucking came down from space. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are they? What's
Okay.
gonna happen? Like this would be the biggest talk of the town. A white guy just killed off a black guy off of some bullshit.
That's just Tuesday.
That's just regular shit.
Yeah.
Every day that shit. Oh, what?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't
Do you
see
see
color.
how casual? You see how casual?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
see color.
That's the thing.
How can you possibly say that when you know that there's people out here killing?
No,
people
I
because
think
of
how
skin
can you
color?
possibly say that when you know as a white person your children will never have to endure that?
You'll never have to worry about if your kids.
You'll
coming
never
home.
have to worry about your kids walking home from school.
That's
You'll
crazy.
never have to worry about,
That's
you
crazy.
know, your kids coming home, your kids doing things that your white child would get away with. You
Yo.
never have to worry about that. And so saying,
I also
I got a
saying-
question. I got a question.
I also
for y'all
want to
before
say
I forget.
before you say. I also want to say we're not sitting here trying to say that you should feel guilty as a white
No,
person.
absolutely not.
are we though?
But if you do not do something to help the black people that are suffering,
Ah.
if you're not with the oppressed, trying to overcome the oppressors,
Yeah.
then you're with the
You're
oppressors.
a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
You see me?
You're a problem, and that's why I'm careful about what you said. Because while I don't want white people to feel guilty, I don't want you guys to carry on that guilt. I do want you guys to carry on that accountability. I do want you to carry on that, okay, you know what? Yeah, you personally did not do this to my ancestors. However,
Your voice
you
has meaning.
benefit from
Right.
it still.
And your
You
voice is
still
heard.
are able to get a job easier than I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I want you to recognize. I
Right.
want you to recognize that whether, you know, you haven't done it, you didn't enslave me, you didn't enslave my ancestors, you didn't, you know, hurt me.
Personally.
However,
you didn't do anything personally to us.
the systems that your ancestors put in place are benefiting you and not me. And that's it. That's where I want to stand. And I
No,
feel like a
it's-
lot of
it's
my white
facts.
friends, if they can come up to me and they can say that and they can say, Knicco, listen to me. I am sorry
Yeah.
throughout my entire life, or I apologize that, you know, I may have benefited more from certain things than you have.
Yeah.
I can say that, and I can hold myself accountable for that. And that's where a lot of my respect derives from for white people. When
Yeah.
they can come and say, I hold myself accountable for maybe the job that I work in, and you know, knowing that my black coworker makes
Yeah.
way less than me doing the same exact
thing.
work. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Come out and say that. But it's honestly the ones that sit there and don't acknowledge that kind of scare me. That kind of worry me a
They
little
don't.
bit.
They don't think
All
it
right.
exists.
All right. Not because I'm black. I'm just gonna sit here and just think black from a black perspective.
Yeah.
I want to think from the other perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's look at it like this. Like, if I went out and I grinded fucking 120 hours a week, is that a thing? I don't
Yeah.
think that's a thing. 120 hours in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. And my goal is to set my daughter up that she's gonna benefit off of whatever the fuck it is that I'm doing.
Mm.
For the 2 weeks that I put in 120 hours, and
Yeah.
I'm doing this constantly for 5 years, 10 years, however long. I
Yeah.
dedicate my whole life to this shit.
Right.
Can I really sit here and be like, well, you know, you guys don't have that because your ancestors didn't do that, and I should feel bad about it, or I should speak out about it?
You had
Because
a
my
400-year head start.
My ancestors decided to do some fucked up shit,
Yeah.
but they set me up.
Yeah.
Isn't that what your ancestors are supposed to do?
I understand that, but not in the way that they did, Shock. Obviously, I see where you're coming from, but there's no excuse for it. That's why I don't rate anybody that
But
is
There's
white
no
descent.
excuse. There's no excuse for it now. And I'm talking
No.
about a
Right.
big 2021,
Yeah.
2022.
There's no
excuse
now.
for it now.
Right. Whatever happened back then because of
But it's being
greed,
able as a white person to
jealousy.
hold yourself accountable
Yeah.
now. And I'm talking
Yo,
about right this minute
problem
now.
the problem,
Yo,
I
but
think,
are
I think
people
the problem-
holding others accountable? Like, are you from the Caribbean telling your white friends like, yo, you know, you have it way better than me?
Are you?
Yo, listen to me.
Are you? Saying
Are
that?
you?
Listen to me.
Let me.
Listen
Are
to me.
you?
Listen to
Can we
me.
ask them
Coming
that?
from the Caribbean,
Can
growing
we
up in
ask
the
them that?
Caribbean,
Can we ask them that?
Maybe we can. But
Let's ask them that.
I'm trying to show you, like,
Are
when
you
I was
from
in the
the
Caribbean,
Caribbean asking a white fucking friend, have they had it easier than you?
we're
Just
not
for being
we're
white.
not having that conversation. I tell
No,
you,
I think we need to have
need
that
to have that
maybe
conversation.
we need to.
conversation.
Maybe we need
Not
to.
now.
But I'm gonna put it to you like this. In the Caribbean, growing up, I didn't think of race. I thought of class.
Yeah, classism
He was
is
mentioning
real.
that, yeah?
Absolutely.
It was class.
It is real.
Now
yeah.
maybe that's because my skin is a little lighter than some other, like the
Yeah.
local. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the black kids from the village, bro. Maybe they had it fucked up just
Yeah.
from the government standpoint or whatever. Their opportunities were fucked up more than
Yeah.
mine. Maybe I didn't realize, but I thought of more class rather than race as In America, it's all race.
Yeah.
There's class as well, but it's class among white. It's not
Yeah.
class among black. It's just race. You understand? It's white versus black
Gotcha.
first in America. Am I lying?
I mean, it used to
No.
be. I feel like it's like Middle Eastern now, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But in the Caribbean, it was what?
We take it back all now.
I think in
That's
the Caribbean is a lot.
In,
Yeah.
in the Caribbean, it's more like class. Like
Yeah, it's
if-
more class. It's
if
more
that
class.
dude-
yeah.
You know what? I'll agree to disagree because while I think it is a mixture of classism, I also think it's a mixture of colorism as well.
Colorism,
No,
for
it is.
sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
It is definition. It is.
And I mean,
it is
who are
definitely-
these people that you're speaking about in classism that have come into the island?
Yeah.
Lebanese and Chinese.
Yeah. Syrian.
Well, so
it's just-
well, there you go. So it's like, what did
but
they
it has
have
to do
over
with
local
color.
black
It had
people?
to do with color.
No, but you see, to me, growing up, I wasn't thinking it was color.
I see. Why?
Growing up, I was just thinking that these motherfuckers are rich.
Were richer.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
more money
Yeah,
coming
got you.
in.
But that's-
And so they
I'm
moved
just
here.
fuckers here wanting a Game Boy, man.
Yo,
nigga, but
it has.
No,
it
but
has
hold
so
on.
much-
They
What
got
difference?
ATVs and
No, but
shit.
hold on. Oh my god, I just saw something. Hold on. What is the difference between a Lebanese person coming from Lebanon,
Right.
There's other Lebanese, but you see,
Yeah.
coming from there, and like coming to Antigua and thinking our money is going to be spent a lot better in Antigua than in Lebanon? The same way us Antiguans have
Came up
moved
here,
to
came up
Canada.
here. Yeah,
Made this money and then
Yeah.
thinking, hold on a second,
Yeah.
can we take this back to Antigua
right.
and build up on
That's
that?
So,
that's
do you
something we
see?
need to talk about when it comes to
That's why
yeah, but for sure.
That's why I don't want to think of it as let's make white people feel guilty so that they do something about this shit to help us. Because it's also like everybody, once you're fucking born in this planet, you still not have to think about yourself and your
Yeah.
family first,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
absolutely.
You have
Yeah.
to now survive, and then we don't only want to survive as human beings. We want to build wealth.
No, yeah,
We
for
want to
sure.
set
For sure,
our
for sure.
generation.
You have to make
Yeah.
sure everybody's
up.
straight.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because there's these overarching problems, I can't look at the man that comes in from Lebanon and he set up his business in
Yeah.
Antigua and he's thriving
No.
and his kids have ATVs.
But do they
and
get an
10.
advantage? Absolutely.
Yes, they get an advantage.
Absolutely. You remember what it's like in Antigua where a Syrian man, because all of them are Syrians, instead, even though they're actually Lebanese, some of them.
Right. But
Everybody we call
right,
them Syrians,
yeah.
right? A Syrian comes to your house, right? And he's like, yo, I remember before there was credit cards, there was Syrians. Syrians would trust you. Real shit. Real fucking shit.
Yo, where do you find this guy from, man? Where is he from?
I don't know where you guys lived
Before
in
there was-
Antigua. Where I lived, Syrians would
Before
come
credit
to
cards?
you. Yes. I'm just saying, in credit cards in Antigua at least,
Listen to
Syrians
me.
would come to you and trust you with anything that you wanted from the suitcase. When it comes to clothes,
Right.
you want a fucking fan for your house,
Right,
they
right.
would notice whatever you
Right.
needed in your house, and they will trust you with it.
Right.
Meaning,
Knowing that you're
I
gonna
won't
have to
take
pay them back
payment.
over
They'll
time.
just keep coming for the payment every week.
Over time, you get them.
Yes,
them
and
pay
that's
you.
how they built their wealth.
Right.
You think a black person could come from fucking house to house?
No.
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 But that goes back to like what I
It
said.
could have been fruits.
Bro, that's our self-esteem all
And
over
that's what
again.
I'm saying. And that's what colorism is that you also felt like because they were lighter skin, they were allowed to do certain things. Even if it was on you.
But weren't they?
They were. But even
No,
us we
not-
were guilty for it too.
I'm not gonna say that they were allowed to just like that.
I
because
think they got away with it
Black people
easier.
were allowed to as well.
I think
Okay,
they got away with
yeah,
it
you're
easier.
right.
But
I think
they-
there were no
They felt,
repercussions.
Yeah.
they felt like they could have done it way easier than a local black dude would have felt like he could.
I don't blame them. I also blame us sometimes because we allowed it. We
It's-
don't trust
Who
our
allowed
people as
it?
much.
It's not only that we allowed it. The problem is that we don't feel like we can get up and do the same shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
But why don't we feel like that? Why don't we as a black person, as local black Antiguans, feel that we can get up and reach that status of the Syrians or Lebanese or white people that come into Antigua?
Self-esteem. Yo, when you
Is it self-esteem
it's
or
self-esteem. It is 100%.
so you're telling me
self-esteem.
right now that if a local black Antiguan went to the government with the same business proposal that a Lebanese or a white person had brought to them,
Yeah.
it would have been granted?
So
No.
who's the head of the government?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, I'm just
He's
saying.
black. He's black
I'm just
too.
He
saying.
is?
They are black.
Oh.
Yeah, but I do
What
think.
did-
Why are they denying it?
I
what
do
are they
think
looking
lighter
at?
skin
What are
makes
they-
a difference.
What are they looking
But
at?
why are
reality.
they denying
Listen
it?
to me. They would let a guy like Stanford in who they don't know any fucking history or background. Why?
Why?
Because he's white.
Okay.
And he was also
listen,
established
But
overseas.
listen to me. He appears like he's got the wealth to build up
Right.
the country.
Right.
But if a black man was to do the same shit,
Appear as well.
they would dive into his history.
Nigga, where you get this money from?
But
now?
Right.
exactly. But
Right.
exactly. It's not.
Self-esteem
It's,
issues. It's not just. It's
but
not
is
just
it self-esteem
for
or
his-
is it that your own
discrimination.
people, or is it that your own people
Your
are, do
own
not
people are
believe
just-
in you?
yes,
Do not
absolutely.
believe that you can
Yeah.
reach the heights
No,
Yo.
that others
no,
have
no,
reached.
listen to me. When I say self-esteem, I'm not talking about you as the person alone. You know,
No.
You're talking about the
entire
community.
people
Okay.
have a self-esteem issue.
I'm telling you
Crabs
now.
in a barrel.
I'm telling you now, if it was the exact same situation with Stanford, right? One Stanford is the real Texan and he's white, and the other Texan was black Stanford, it would not have went down the same fucking
Hell
way.
no. Hell no.
It
Hell
would
no.
not. We wouldn't even
Hell no.
reach far as 2020. It would have been 1919. I'm telling you, that wouldn't have happened because of being black. And people need to realize that. That's the privilege that you have of being white.
Right.
Or just
Not
even
just
lighter skin.
Lighter skin
Right,
complexion.
right.
That's a privilege that
And
you hold.
From having Dominican background, we've done that with our own. And Haitians, for example,
Right.
it's because they're darkest skin.
Right.
I've been saying this.
Well-
It's been happening. Colorism is a thing.
Yeah.
You discriminate just based off of the fact that the person is lighter than you. And that's why I keep saying it goes back to discrimination.
It
It's
does.
because you see them as are less incriminating, less threatening because they're lighter skin.
Can I ask a question? How many of your black local friends, local Antiguans,
Mhm.
black local Antiguans, own boats?
Oh my god.
0.
Own boats,
I
and I'm
know.
talking about not
That's a
just
Very
not
fucking
just
good question.
not just boats. I'm talking about boats that can be used during tourism, so exporting
Even
tourists
a-
to and
even
from
a re- even a
Barbuda.
regular
How
dinghy.
many of your local
Yeah.
black Antiguans
Yeah.
own boats that can do that? I want you to.
0.
We
Oh.
are not just in Antigua.
Really?
Our Jamaican
Right?
listeners, our St. Lucian, our Dominican
How many
listeners-
of your black local
Right.
friends from that island
Yeah.
own boats that
No,
take you to
okay.
different
Hold
tourist
on, hold on.
destinations?
I know
Hold on,
one
hold on.
that own a boat for tourism, and he's married to a white woman.
Hold on.
And she was
hold
part of the
on,
promotion.
hold on.
That's a really
In the Caribbean, right? Back
Hey.
home, I happen to have a shirt printing business.
Yes,
Yes.
I remember that one.
And not just because of me. I didn't just jump up and say, yo, I'm
You had
starting
a
a
white
shirt
friend?
printing business.
better white friend.
No, I had a mentor. and he's also black.
mentor. Okay.
I had a mentor. And he fucking blessed us by the grace of God. This guy blessed us with a shop.
I
right?
remember your shop.
right,
I remember
So
your shop.
we took it to that level where I was like, okay, I'm quitting my job. I'm doing a shirt printing
Yeah,
business. This is
yeah.
what I do now.
Yeah.
All right?
Mm.
Printing shirts. But I can't come and say that, yes, I don't have any black friends that don't own no boats because maybe we don't have the financial education.
That's not the question, or is it yes or
That's
no?
not
Do you
the
have friends
question.
that
Listen to me.
Do you
Yes,
have
no,
black friends?
I don't have no black
that's
friends
the
that own
fucking
boats.
question.
But-
Yes or no?
But listen to me.
yes or no?
Listen to me. I managed to get a business, and I didn't have no friends that had any business. I didn't have no black friends.
But
no
you
white-
had a black mentor.
okay. You understand?
But you
where
had
I'm
a
com-
black
but do you
mentor.
understand where I'm coming from?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's why
It's
representation
not-
is
it's-
important.
It's not only about the color of your skin. It's also
But
about
that's
we
why-
need more black people in our communities.
But
that's
how do we
willing to
get there?
show
But
other black
Shaq-
people how to do this shit.
But Shaq,
Yeah.
how do we get there? Because representation matters, and that's why I asked, do you have any black friends that own boats? No. You had a black mentor in that business, and he guided the way for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any black people, locals, that can be mentors for other local black
Yeah.
Antiguans that wanna own a
we
boat?
definitely- to own a boat.
Listen.
or to do whatever,
to
to
make
do
money,
whatever it
to make
is.
money,
Do you have any?
yes.
Do you have any
Yes, we
black
do.
local friends that own resorts or work at resorts or have people in those
High
high-end places?
Come on.
No.
that are
No.
that are significantly tied to the tourism industry that significantly is about Antigua.
No.
Antigua's all about tourism. Do
No.
we have
No.
locally black
No.
friends,
No.
people
No.
in that thing? And do you think that's a problem?
Yes, and you know what? I'm part of the
that's
problem.
what we're gonna say about it.
I am part of the problem, and I can tell you why. And I can show you a big example right now. I had a shirt printing business, and I had people employed under me. Do you know what I fucking did? I took myself up, and I came to Canada. What the fuck? How are we gonna grow if our people are willing to actually?
So now we're leaving our homeland to make money on white people's homeland, Supposedly their so-called homeland.
We're in Canada.
Is that not a problem?
We're in Canada.
That's a big problem.
When I get out
That's
the car,
a huge problem.
When I get out of the car, there's snow everywhere, and I don't want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
Why are we in Canada?
That's a huge problem.
Instead of where we're supposed to be.
Before I end this, I wanted to ask you guys something because I understand that Knicco, you didn't go do high school in Antigua, right?
I didn't. No.
Did you do any schooling in the Caribbean?
I did. So I did primary school in Antigua. I went
Primary
to
school.
Yeah, I went to St. Nicholas.
Okay.
Hey, St. Nicholas.
That was a rich people's school. In Antigua.
Yikes!
I couldn't afford to go
Okay,
there.
hold on. Before I do that,
That's right.
first,
to fuck people up.
My parents
I
couldn't
went to
pay
Kids
for me.
Unlimited.
Kids Unlimited.
I first went to Kids
I used to
Unlimited,
pass there crying because I couldn't afford to go.
and then I went.
What about Sunnyside?
It was a rich people preschool.
What about
I could-
Sunnyside?
Sunnyside.
Stop.
They got Sunnyside up there. I couldn't eat at school. I ate bread and sausages at home before I went to school.
I went to oh my god, what was I saying? Kids Unlimited, and then I went
Kids
to
Unlimited. Yeah.
St. Nicholas.
I don't know anybody from my area that went to Kids Unlimited, but I wanted to ask y'all, what was it like growing up in the Caribbean in terms of history? What did you learn in history?
Not one fuck.
Not a
I just
thing.
want people to know.
Listen,
that-
one of the things that I quoted this in the car, I said literally a quote from one of our textbooks in the Caribbean primary school, maybe grade 4 or 5, 6, was slaves came from West Africa.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Slaves came from West Africa. That's it. That's all we knew.
That was a sentence.
And then we learned what? And then we learned what they did here for the white man.
What they wanted.
Right.
Christopher
That was
Columbus
it.
was a goddamn hero.
Yeah, that was it.
Did you
That
guys
was
know that
it.
Christopher Columbus found everything on the planet?
All I remember
People didn't live anywhere before
history
Christopher Columbus.
in the Caribbean was Christopher
Yeah,
Columbus.
it was all about Christopher Columbus for us.
I think once I heard about this guy named Martin Luther King.
I didn't.
Not
That's
once.
about it.
Not once.
Not once did I learn about Martin.
I think
Not
I heard about
once.
him. I think I'm not 100% sure. It could have been a cartel. I'm not 100% sure. But they don't talk about these things.
They do
Christopher fucking
They do
Columbus.
No,
and
they don't.
Our history gets erased.
And
Not
if you
just
look at-
that,
if
but
you
our
look at what
history
they're
is
doing right
extremely
now-
important.
But if you look
No.
at what they're doing right now
American
in America,
history is black. American history is
American
black.
culture.
Bridget.
Entirely.
Bridget. Before they even went over there was the native people, right?
Yes.
Whatever they would have
Right.
called themselves back then, I have no
So,
idea.
for example,
But-
Dominica was the Kalinago.
Mm-hmm.
Those are what you guys call the Caribs.
Yep, that's right.
Caribs and
We had
Arawaks.
the- we had
That
the
was shit back
Kalinago.
in the
We
day.
learned
Now,
about that.
here's-
We learned
here's-
about that.
Here's what I did not know. Sorry, I have to take off these earrings. They're a little
They
heavy.
look kind
I
of
love the
heavy,
Dominican
definitely.
earrings. Boom, bang, boom,
A little
bang.
heavy.
Those are
But
fresh.
what we did not know, and what I only recently found out, is there has been multiple rebellions
Of course.
by these indigenous people of our islands
Mm-hmm.
against the colonizers
Of course.
that nobody knew about.
Why would they? Why
that
would
nobody
they let you know?
spoke about.
Why would they let you know?
But why would they let us know? Because
Why
then
would
it gives
they
us a
give a
chance
shit?
to also
Then it-
rebel.
then
And
it
why
makes-
would they want us to rebel or
Listen.
even have those teachings to rebel?
Listen, this shit goes so deep.
We will take it. We'll take it away from them.
Anybody that's in power, you see if the scripts were turned and it was black people enslaving white people, we would do the same shit.
Yeah.
It's a human
it's
condition.
debatable.
Are we doing the
Why
same
would-
shit with the knowledge that we have
Why?
of what's been done to us, or are we doing the same shit without that knowledge? That's a good question to ask.
We're doing the same shit either way. Because if we weren't in
You
this
really
position
think right now and then we would actually enslave white people again?
100%.
I don't know. It's debatable.
I don't know.
don't know
Yo,
about
listen
that.
to me.
I would
300
think we would
listen-
try to make it
listen
better.
Listen to me. 300 years from now, when we're not here anymore, and we didn't know about the slavery that
When
just
you're not
happened.
here anymore.
Yeah.
Elixir of life. I'm gonna find it when you're not here anymore. I'll be here.
Maybe you'll be here. But
I'll
I'm
be here.
saying that 300 years from now, when we're long dead and gone, and our kids have learned of these histories of our ancestors, you don't think there's going to be some point in time where,
I would
listen
hope.
to me, that black people are going to literally be like, why don't we fucking take over the white people them and enslave them instead?
But you don't think
I
that
don't
we're gonna
think
have
we'll
a
get to
written
that point.
history up to that point saying that we have tried?
Where was the
Saying
history?
where we went where we came from, where we're going through, what we're doing. You don't think that's going to be a history? You don't, Shaq. You don't think 300 years from now there's going to be a written report of what we have done now?
No.
I'm telling you, there is.
You want me to tell you?
I'm
why?
telling you right now,
you
there
want me
is.
To tell you why?
Why?
What was before the colonization? What was the histories of before that?
But Shaq, you told me in the car.
The only thing I know
you said that they were kings and queens of Africa. You said that there were reports of it. Now there are people who are gonna find those resources, and then there are people who are not. But just like right now, you knew about that.
How much history do we know?
But we don't. But what's to make you think?
We do know that there's history.
But Shaq, what's to make you think?
I hear you guys.
What's to make you think that we're not going to?
We're gonna evolve.
Take note of this.
I wish we do. My problem is that we are human beings. And there's enough human beings out here, there's enough black people out here that hate the white system.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And as rightly they should.
This is not
But I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna come around and he's gonna have a strong willpower and a charisma to match it. And he's gonna get people behind him who are ignorant and willing to burn shit down.
You don't think that's been happening already?
Not just burn stores down in your neighborhood type shit. I'm talking about civil war.
It's not something we can just get through in one episode. It's not possible.
It really isn't.
It really isn't. Everybody's passionate about this.
This might have to be a 2-episode thing.
It might be a part 2. I do think we will get through it. We'll get through it eventually. We will get through it.
I think we as a people really need to come together. I mean, I think taking a look at your black friends, the community that you're involved in, and just saying, "Hey, man, how can I help you reach whatever you're trying to reach?"
Right, as a white friend.
As a black friend.
Yeah. Listen, my way out.
As black
my way
people.
out when it comes to this is we need to stop supporting these brands that are white owned, not because they're white owned, but because they don't give back to the community, the black community. We need to support any brand that's willing to give back to the black community. White owned, black owned, fucking Asian owned. I don't give a fuck.
But that stems down to we need to support ourselves, our community, whatever's coming out of our community. That's what we need to support. That's what we need to uplift.
Y'all listen to that, guys. This is a rum table. We need to support ourselves. And if you haven't been supporting, do support. Like, subscribe. We got Knicco in the building. We got Shaq, a.k.a.
Just Shaq.
Just Shaq.
And, it's a serious thing. You have white friends that don't believe.
Talk to them.
Talk to them.
Have that conversation. Have that hard convo.
But the problem, don't guilt them like that. Make it seem like it's all their fault. It's not. You need to understand also that these people are living their life. And it's not just, they're focusing you. My nigga, they got bills to pay too.
Not because you're from the
Show
Caribbean
them in a different way.
And you're white, it doesn't mean that you've understood what we've been through.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't.
No.
Hell no.
It does not mean because that one time your dad or your mom couldn't get this contract, it didn't work.
It also doesn't mean that
you understand.
No.
Especially if you're in a position to get contract.
Here's the thing. Be open. Talk to us. Ask
it does not mean because you didn't get this and that you've suffered this. No, it does not.
It does
Talk
not.
to us, man. Ask us those questions. Have that conversation with us. Be open to having that hard conversation with us.
This is why this is the reason for the Rum Table podcast. We open up conversations. People don't.
What is the reason for the Rum Table podcast, Shaq?
We talk about shit y'all don't want to talk about. We make y'all uncomfortable in your house or in the car on the way to work.
That's all it is.
We're willing to. And we hope y'all have a dialogue with us about it.
That's it.
Because only with
they
dialogue.
can message us.
Yeah.
You've been DMing us. You've been DMing us like crazy. You can email us at therumtable@gmail.com.
Hit us up.
Let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this debate.
Whatever made you feel like.
It's only with talking about your problems that you're gonna. You know what? My woman and I had we had this thing the other day.
Was it a sexual encounter? What are you doing?
Goodbye.
Anyway, we were gonna get in an argument, right? And you know what she said? She said she saw this thing and it said, "I'm not your enemy." we're just having this argument because we're having a misunderstanding at the
That's
moment.
right.
No, here's one for you. Here's one for you. This is what I always tell my married friends. It is never you against your partner.
No.
It is you and your partner against the problem.
As it
All
should
right,
be.
then.
That's
But
it.
it gets
should be.
confused in the moment.
Okay, so can I
Probably.
can
Yeah,
we speak to our white friends?
Yeah.
It's not me and you. Sorry, what were we saying?
It is. No, I don't
It's
remember
not
what
me
that is.
against
It
you.
is not.
It's us against the
It's
problem.
not you and I against each other.
No,
it's
it's
you and
not.
I against the problem.
It is.
The issue. Whatever is at hand, let's work it
right.
out together.
All right,
White
then.
people,
Come
we
to
are
us.
your friends. We are your friends.
Questionable.
No, we-
Let's
yeah.
talk about it.
Sometimes.
No, most of the
depends.
time.
Most
Let's
of the
talk
time.
about it.
The problem comes in when it's a misunderstanding.
What about those ones that don't have white friends?
Get
Yeah,
one
get
at the
some
rum
white
table.
friends.
At the rum, we've been hooking up people, Shaq.
All right.
We've been setting up Tinder dates.
It's actually crazy. the
We've
amount
been
of
linking
have been hitting
people.
us up.
Shout out for y'all. Y'all actually linked us. I don't know why y'all still
Yeah.
do that.
We'll show you. We'll show
We
you.
would set you guys up with white friends. Are you black and have no white friends? Are you white and
I
have no
black
friends?
We
got
Talk to
have
us.
the solution
Please
for you.
reach out to our customer service and we'll get in touch with you as soon as possible.
We got you.
I rate that.
Please
I rate
reach out to us and we will
1-800
help.
white
1-800 white
people.
people, we got you.
that. Yo, it's been real. It's been a rum table special.
Honestly, cheers.
As always, English Harbour, thank you so much.
Wait.
Bounce, man. You have to cheers,
Oh,
man.
Cheers to y'all, and if you made it to the end, I appreciate you. And we'll link up again for the next one.
Thanks for listening.
Well, it's a rum table. Yo, Shaq, pick up yourself on this podcast. You know, you don't know what Just Stick represented. You're listening to the Rum Table podcast. So,